Welcome everybody to my weather update here this afternoon. We're talking about severe weather as we head through the weekend and into early and middle portion of next week here, as we have a significant shortwave trough that'll be coming in here to the Pacific Northwest and moving eastward here across the northern plains and the upper Midwest here as we head through next week. And that will bring the chance here for some severe weather as we head across the northern Rockies, the northern plains, upper Midwest, and the Great Lakes as we head through that Wednesday time frame. So looking here at Saturday afternoon here, this weekend, we do have a significant trough starting to emerge across the Pacific Northwest here. You can see that here on some of the upper level heights here and kind of the jet stream. You can see some stronger jet dynamics here to the east across portions of Idaho, getting up here into Montana. This will start to kind of round that ridge that'll be anchored across the Four Corners and towards the Texas area here as we head into Saturday. And you can see that with that ridge down to the south, you can see temperatures rising well into the 90s across portions of the central and southern plains. Even some 90s rising up into the northern plains here in advance of the shortwave trough, and that will create some instability here as we head into your Saturday afternoon. Look at the instability here on the NAM model. This is a little far out here, just a few days out, but definitely seeing a signal for some strong instability here across especially North Dakota and portions of eastern South Dakota and getting down into portions of Nebraska here. The strongest instability here on this model actually is showing across that North Dakota area with 4,000 to locally 5,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE, or convective available potential energy, with the storms. And we are also seeing a big signal here as well for some supercell thunderstorm potential across especially southeastern portions there of North Dakota, getting into South Dakota as well. So we'll definitely have to watch this. The NAM model is showing some higher end values up to around that 38 to near 40 on the scale here, and that's up into the higher end of the scale. So we'll definitely have to watch that here as we head into Saturday afternoon. And I did take a sounding here of the North Dakota vicinity as well, showing a pretty decent, nice curved hodograph here as well. So kind of a classic supercell signature. We have that possible tornado tag here as well. Instability around 4,500 joules per kilogram here at the surface. Mixed layer up near 5,000 here. And we have D-CAPE here, a downdraft CAPE here of around almost 1,500. So at the very least, we could be talking about some damaging downburst winds, maybe even a tornado here, and some large hail is definitely a possibility, especially with all of this instability. But the problem is here we do have a little bit of a cap on the atmosphere, kind of a warm layer aloft here where we don't have a lot of upward growth with the updrafts. We have that in the lower levels here. You can see that where the reds and greens do come together here on the sounding. So that is a little bit here of a concern to see here how much coverage of severe weather there'll be. But we definitely have a drier mid-level here in the atmosphere here where the reds and greens are kind of farther away from each other. That shows kind of a drier mid-level, and that will support some large hail potential as we head into your Saturday afternoon and evening. And that is why the Storm Prediction Center has added a slight risk of severe weather across east central Montana, across all of North Dakota and in the northwestern portions of Minnesota, even a marginal risk extending down into northern South Dakota, western Minnesota, and back into western portions there of Montana. So we'll definitely have to watch that. Also of note here is another large marginal risk across the Tennessee Valley into the southeast and the Gulf Coast. That is with the frontal boundary that will be shifting to the south here. You can see that on the European forecast model, kind of a scattering of some showers and storms. A few stronger storms are possible down across the southeast and the Gulf Coast from Mississippi, Alabama through Georgia into the Carolinas here, with some damaging downburst winds, potentially some large hail, but definitely here kind of a lower end threat down there, kind of a weak frontal boundary. But our attention will be up here to the north with some supercell thunderstorms possibly initiating here into the Saturday afternoon and evening time frame across the North Dakota vicinity, western and northwestern Minnesota, getting down into portions of South Dakota, and that could produce that supercell potential with the tornado risk and the large hail risk and the damaging downburst wind risk here as well, especially with all that instability as we head into that period. So that will be something to watch. There is some potential for an upgrade to an enhanced risk here on your Saturday, so that will be something to watch as well. Now transitioning here to your Sunday, July 10th, That trough will continue to shift to the east here across the northern Rockies, and we'll definitely see a stronger mid and upper level jet start to punch in across portions of the northern plains, the northern Rockies here in advance of the shortwave trough. And we'll also see that ridge continue to be anchored across the south central plains, bringing all that 100-degree heat across Texas into Oklahoma in the 90s, all the way up here into portions of Nebraska, southeastern South Dakota in advance of that trough. And that will definitely bring another threat for some strong instability and even extreme instability here on your Sunday across portions here of Iowa, getting into Minnesota, South Dakota, even portions of Wisconsin here as well on your Sunday afternoon and evening. There is a signal here again on the NAM for some 4,000 to locally 4,500 joules per kilogram instability developing ahead of a cold front that'll start to shift to the south and east here across the upper Midwest on your Sunday afternoon. Also here of note is the bulk shear values are actually kind of aligning with the stronger and extreme instability across this environment. So that is of concern here. We got some bulk shear values approaching 50 knots with that strong 4,000 to 4,500 CAPE or convective available potential energy. And that does raise the concern for some supercells. The supercell composite values a few days in advance are already approaching 30 here, and even 34 across portions of south central Minnesota, southeastern portions of South Dakota, getting into Iowa. So that is something of concern here as well. I did take a sounding here of south central Minnesota. We are seeing kind of a cap again in the lower levels, but a very strong, healthy hail signature here as we have a dry mid-level here in the atmosphere. We do have a decent hodograph, so that's why we do have a tornado possible tag here on this as well. With that instability at the surface up around 4,200 here in the mixed layer CAPE as well, up around 4,500. We definitely could have a damaging downburst wind risk here, some large hail, and again, some isolated tornadoes cannot be ruled out, especially with that tornado tag and that hodograph here on there as well, kind of curved in the mid-levels. We definitely have some energy here in the downdraft CAPE here as well, as we definitely have 1,500 joules per kilogram for that. So definitely a lot of wind energy potential on your Sunday afternoon and evening across that area. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center has added that large slight risk or 15% zone for much of Minnesota, western and northwestern Wisconsin, getting into the eastern Dakotas and northwestern Iowa as we head into your Sunday afternoon. And I also do believe this could be upgraded to an enhanced risk here, kind of looking at some of the dynamics as we head into that period. Although the coverage of severe weather again is kind of in question here, as we have a little bit of a cap kind of issue here with the warm layer aloft and a little bit of suppression here with some of those updrafts. So we'll definitely have to watch that. The European model is spitting out kind of a convective system developing into your late Sunday afternoon and into the Monday evening time frame. After the initial supercells develop, we'll start to see some upscale growth here into kind of a squall line, and that will start to shift to the south. Could have some supercells embedded within that here, a convective system into your Sunday evening into the overnight hours. That will shift southeast here along that front, so we'll definitely have to watch that threat as we head into Sunday. And then as we transition into Monday, that shortwave trough will start to become a little more pronounced as we head across portions of the Canadian border and with Minnesota. Definitely seeing a cold front starting to shift southward here into the western Great Lakes and the Midwest here on your Monday afternoon. And in advance of that here, we definitely again have all that heat in place. We got the hundreds down to the south in Texas and Oklahoma. We got some mid-80s getting all the way up here into southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, eastern portions of Iowa, and ahead of that front, that's where we have all that stronger instability here. This is the GFS's model run here of the instability, showing 3,000 to up to 4,000 joules per kilogram here, kind of poking up into portions of southern Wisconsin, northwestern Illinois, eastern Iowa, and then down through portions of Missouri as well. And we are also seeing some overlap here with some bulk shear values showing up here around 40 to 50 knots across southern Wisconsin, portions of Iowa, getting into northern Illinois, even lower Michigan here as well. So that will definitely be something to monitor as we get closer to that Monday time frame. And we are seeing kind of a weak signal of a supercell potential across northern Illinois, central Illinois, getting into eastern Iowa here, and then back into the central plains and across portions there of southern Wisconsin on your Monday afternoon and evening, ahead of that weak cold front that'll be sagging down to the south and east here as we head through the day on Monday. We aren't seeing too big of a signal here of a convective footprint here with this on the European weather forecast model, but other models are starting to attempt to produce some showers and storms during peak heating on Monday across across portions of southeastern Wisconsin, north central Illinois, back into eastern Iowa. There will be some capping concerns here on Monday, so we'll definitely have to monitor that. Again, the warm layer aloft kind of suppressing those very strong updrafts, so we'll definitely have to monitor that. But with all the strong instability coming together, potentially with some of that bulk shear, we definitely have to worry about maybe an organized severe weather event even on your Monday here as well as we get closer. Here, as we move into that Tuesday and then even that Wednesday timeframe, we'll start to see that cold front start to shift down across the Ozarks into portions of the Ohio Valley. Ahead of that front, we could have some instability developing here. Kind of too early to tell how much, but we definitely could have some isolated, stronger storms potentially across the Ohio Valley and then extending down into the Tennessee Valley here in the southeast as we head into that Tuesday and Wednesday timeframe. So we'll definitely have to monitor that and all the severe weather potential as we head through the week ahead. So thank you for watching. Be sure to like my video here. Give me a thumbs up. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns that you do have about the severe weather ahead. I definitely will answer those when I can. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to hit a goal here of 200, so please help me out in doing so, and I appreciate that very much. Also, turn all notifications on as I'll be going live here later this afternoon or early this evening, covering the potential here for severe weather and answering your questions here on the live stream as well. So thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your Thursday out there.